Welcome back, everyone, to the GenCon 2022 Regional License Exam. And we've got an exciting matchup here from some decently known players, wouldn't you say, Tam?
For sure, for sure. Big, huge leads in the community. We've got Chris Bromley playing as Momo Yazurozu and Dan Nelson playing as Asui.
Yeah, so, I mean, Damdiel, known as in the community servers, playing as typical aggro-oriented decks, and
Correct.
Bromley featuring a very solid Momo here. One of the characters that has seen a huge uptick in usage over the past couple of weeks and well into this regional circuit here.
For sure, yeah. It's one of the things we get to see as the meta grows and evolves, is people get to like discover new interesting ways to play, especially with like the idea that DLCs come out and more strategies get developed. The game will change and evolve as the players do. So got a solid build 5.
Pretty decent, especially Asui going into the second turn.
Which means that Bromley is in truly big trouble.
Yeah, you see a build 5, you're like, I'm in danger.
Yeah, we saw what else we could do with a build 5, including an amphibious in our last in one of our last routes against Ibarra, and Chris as Momo answering back with that exact same build 5, but getting a little help from that new training method.
A little bit. So. Walkling there, potentially providing some support. You know, it means that if Bromley's off zone, might be able to, you know, stave off an additional attack they went to previously.
Correct.
So, and let's see how aggressive on this turn 2 we see Daniel get here.
Starting with an easy ready, get, set, go. We checked a 3 on our 4 difficulty in order to draw a card, just to thin out our deck. As we know, this has been called the Railgun Asui, no breaks Asui. Like, his entire goal is just to like play the tightest, most consistent, aggressive deck possible. And so, not only does that card help you build foundations when your opponent decides to go in on their build turn, but also, you know, replaces itself for free. But
that it does.
Checking a little poor says that is the trade-off, you know?
Yeah, so here we see a wider build, so a little bit slower. I mean, we've been seeing these Asuis go in turn 2 consistently throughout the entirety of the tournament. But hey, I mean, you give Asui basically a bajillion foundations to work with, and you already add on the fact that she very rarely plays with all that much progressive difficulty, and it lends itself to an Asui that can attack for a very long time.
100%, 100%. Interesting choice on deck construction here from Chris Bromley. We've got the card Future Charge hitting the table, which says, draw 1 card for every card named Future Charge in your pool.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Has that card ever been written on the deck list ever?
It cycles itself, I guess, you know? And incidentally, you know, it allows you to go for, if you have a pair in hand, +2, then +3. So, all right, we are pushing out the quick create here, going out to a foundation build. So very much a sort of build on both sides of the board here. And we're going to call it there. All right, life totals are now present. So fantastic on that board. So we did end up taking it from the future, going down to 16. That's fine. Asui can easily face tank that, because as long as Asui is not at 0, Asui does not care.
For sure. Hey, these cards are not for blocking, they're for attacking. And we're seeing it right now.
Yeah, and turns out the Frog's best friend is the Crow, as we go into Crow and Frog takedown here. The attack that gives no progressive difficulty.
And gets to ready back up important key pieces like the Passing with Torch we saw there, right? So we know this turn, Asui's going to be a 9-hand size character. Draw 1 from passing, ready it back up, play our next attack, play it again. It's going to be pretty good. And with the introduction of a card a lot of people haven't been talking about, floating around like babies, remove 3 cards for +1 damage. Dana was talking in between rounds. This is like, yeah, I'm either gonna burn out. I can't fade away. It's not. It's not possible.
Yeah. So, for what it's worth, you know, Bromley always brings interesting deck construction to his decks.
True.
I mean, always revolutionizing, I think, any regional that he plays out here, but will be taking it from this Crow and Frog here, going down to 20.
I think that makes sense, because you see a Crow and Frog from Asui, and you're not actually positive what's happening on this turn. Am I pushing in? Am I taking off? I'm just not positive. So there's a There's a lot to be said. In addition to the attack previously, we also paid 2 life in order to draw a card off of Asui's side. So instead of 16, we're at 14.
Yep, and I was better than one Crone Frog, another Crone Frog.
Another Crone Frog.
Yeah.
Which is rough because one of the best defensive pieces that the life decks have right now is the card Faith's Shield.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really interesting ruling where the verbiage, the wording on Crone Frog says that this card does not count as progressive difficulty, and that means that even if you flip the card still does not count.
It is still that card.
Yeah, it's still that card. So it will not count as progressive, even though like you flip other attacks and they don't move from like Asui or Bakugo. Corn Frog does happen to get around to that.
Oh, okay, so we're doing a little.
We got another 6 damage
cards here.
Crone Frog coming in again. Once again, just like surely, I mean, at this point, we've removed 6 cards from our discard pile. Not to mention the other ready get set goes we've played. We've removed now 8 cards. That's all but one Sugar Rush, and we know Dan's playing a 50 card deck.
Yeah.
He's if he cycles once, the game's over. He just loses, and that might be just like what Chris is kind of going for, right?
I don't have banking on it.
I don't have to block the things that I don't got to block. I'm Momo. I can block with the 3 cards in my hand. Not to mention go and find myself a card out of the discard pile. You're gonna truly burn out.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like if you can stave off, we saw Keenan, do just that, where absolutely phenomenal string of defensive plays.
Right.
But stop, block the right ones, utilize your resources to get and force them to flicker out and then just crack back.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And the difference between what Ryan Field and Dan Nelson's doing is Dan Nelson is pressing this remove 3 button every single attack. And so it as strong as Kamui was, Momo is looking just as strong with less resources, right? Because that on face destroy a foundation -2 or +2 speed. Whatever attack Momo wants to block, she kind of just gets to at the sacrifice of her stage.
Of course, yeah. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna get the uncommit of Asui here.
So we've got some more moves coming in, and the fact that we're flipping these ready foundations as opposed to the committed ones is meaning I suspect a frog lashing is coming here soon. And we just saw. I mean, we had Chris play it out right. We had the face shield, not able to flip the Crone Frog. It was forced to flip the other one.
Yep. So into the tongue whip here, going to be able to clog up the card pool just a little bit more here.
The other cool thing that does in Momo is it lets us trigger the amphibiouses. Amphibious says once a card has left the card pool, so as opposed to the card face shield removing due to an ability, it removes at the resolution of the card. So if there was a way to cancel face shield, the card would actually just stick there even after you respond to it.
We're going to see the kick of the Crone Frog here just to be able to get that little bump in speed there. And then we're going to cancel it out.
Using Scarlet, what is the name of this card? Rising Starlet. In order to gain a health back up to 15. Doing whatever we can. Hey, that's one instance of floating around by babies that we just canceled. So we're down. The second Faith Shield. Oh my goodness.
Some people just draw better.
Yeah, it couldn't be me. Could not be me.
Big mood.
For me, you gotta ask, with the 5 cards in Dan's hand and the entire ready stage that we have available to us?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to continue?
I don't know if it's about allowed. I think he's
3.
But we know Daniel. He's opting to do it anyways.
Probably. 4, 5. We got one more. It's amphibious. Okay.
Yep. He's got another Crone Frog he can kick out to just make it a little bit faster.
Destroy and re-ready. There. Yeah. This is...
And Bromley only has 1 block left.
Correct. Well, I don't think we've used the ability on
have we not
Momo,
used Momo
though,
yet?
to go
okay.
and snag one up. I want to say that we had 3 cards in hand, but I could be wrong. With that said, though, we still might get to go see it because what's the chances we have the low block, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're so afraid of frog lashing, we want to hold the low the best we can.
Yeah, just dumping that 3 every chance he gets.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've committed to the line, right? If we didn't want this to happen, we would have chosen to fail this card.
Correct.
I think the correct answer here is actually probably just to take this 4, 5, 6, 7 damage
Just
move
take it to the chin.
and be like, all right, I can block the next one. What's an 8 damage move? Self-sacrifice. There it goes, all the way down to 7. There's not a throw that can do it, and we know that we get to go and pick something up with Momo.
Yeah.
Or move one of the amphibiouses and
yeah, there it is. There's a lashing, and when Daniel sees red,
6,
he
7,
sees red.
8.
He just goes.
6, 7, 8.
Interesting. Okay.
Commit, and finally,
Yeah.
let's kick a card from our guard pool, huh?
There we go. One that actually matters to Words Progressive.
Destroy for -2 speed. We're gonna commit, so it's back down to print. So it's a 4 for 6 currently, about to be 4 for 8. So it is lethal if we can't do anything about this. So our goal here is that we have some sort of weapon foundation or an asset that we could partial block possibly and move it in.
Yeah.
We got the
exactly
weapon.
that.
It checks out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All
asking,
right.
yo, do you
have another
one more? Did you actually draw 6 attacks?
And are you able to check for it?
I mean, you drew a bunch of cards.
There's the cannon for 3. Is it always guaranteed? Yeah, it looks like it's pushing through.
The issue is that's
that
not
lethal?
5 damage.
Now we're just checking the math. Looks like we're good on
That's
the
not-
math, and we're scooping it up.
Oh, it might have been they just skipped the ability.
Yeah,
we didn't have
yeah.
to commit as many cards as I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He slammed it, committed, and then
Yeah.
instantly committed too. All right,
Okay.
fair enough.
All
Fair
right.
enough. All right, so
okay.
game 1 goes
Yeah.
to Dan Nelson, showing you. I mean, that's just the power, right? And that was through some pretty impressive defensive abilities. And I
Yeah.
think that all happened off the back of Crow and Frog.
Yeah.
We just did 12 free damage at the very beginning because we weren't really allowed to interact with that card.
Mhm.
And it let us re-ready the passings to draw more gas.
Yeah. And for everyone talking about Asui, look, you guys got it wrong. It's a turn 3 deck.
It's a turn 3 deck, obviously. Maybe against somebody like Momo, you can
Yeah.
everything. It's forced to be a
Yeah.
turn 3 deck.
Yeah.
But
also representing itself as a huge threat this tournament. I mean, we've had you look at the defensive options that Chris had available to him throughout the entirety of that turn, and
Right.
9 times out of 10, most matchups you're like, oh yeah, he's definitely seeing another day.
for sure.
And just also being able to pressure incredibly well, draw, and keep on applying pressure without really having to care about progressive difficulty.
Yeah, absolutely. And my big thing when it comes to what Chris did, quote unquote, wrong is maybe we went and we picked up a foundation and we could have blocked something a little earlier. But it really is like, what's the last card that could possibly be played? Because I mean, we blocked the good ones, right? But maybe blocking one of the Crow and Frogs after a pickup might have been the right call.
Just to mitigate early.
That's such a backseat or recliner quarterback type.
Oh yeah,
thing. It's
because then it's all about player mentality. Like, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
by taking those lines, Chris dissuades Daniel from feeling like he can go in because just the gap seems that much wider, and it's just it's a lot of what ifisms. 100%.
Yeah.
We love to do them, but 100%.
Yeah.
It could have went to the other route.
And with how complex the game is, literally every enhance could be the what if.
Right.
Yeah. The reason that I don't ever think about the multiverse and like different timelines of
Right.
is like just this game of what enhances do I press, do I not press?
Yeah.
Because there's so many buttons to press. It's just like there's a different timeline that says that you just decided not to do that one enhance and everything else is the same. You know?
Oh God.
Man. Danny even shuffles fast, huh?
Yeah, he does everything quick.
I'm ready to go. Probably the exact opposite. I'm gonna take my time.
Yeah.
Right? Tortoise and the frog?
Yeah.
Tortoise and the frog.
Yeah. But being able to take away first turn opportunity here, going second, it should be huge.
Right.
Should allow Bromley here to be able to kind of set the tempo and sculpt himself into a position where he can mitigate the frog better.
100%. We got more foundations to get the blow for -2 speed, right? We got more foundations that we feel comfortable removing from the game to find that one weapon card.
Yeah.
Whether it be an attack or a foundation or asset.
Yeah, gives us another turn to future charge into more gas.
Yes. Yes. I'd be surprised if that card stayed in. I think that card is in for game one just to try and get a little more tempo for
I can see
stuff.
that.
But I want to say I saw some naval laser beams for the same 2 mid block breaker too. A little better on defense, a little better for the disruption.
Yeah, I agree.
And you certainly need it whenever we're facing this character down.
Yeah, anything to make Asui play with like some form of progressive difficulty in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, absolutely. As the players are figuring out their mulligans. Looks like we're both partial in question mark. That's not legal.
All right, cool. Looks like we got
Momo is all right. We're keeping our first hand.
All right, cool.
I want to say we put back 2 from Asui. I do not know. Figure it out.
It looked like a decent sized dump, but we'll see.
You think Bromley ends with a cannon this game too? That's how we get the game 3?
Yeah, I mean, I can see it.
You know?
It's poetic in its own right.
An eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Cannon blast for a cannon blast.
Yeah. And build 4 pass.
Responding.
Oh,
with ready, get, set, go.
I see.
What an incredible card, including an amphib.
Whoa, my God.
What an insane. Imagine building 5 on your turn and then your opponent builds 3.
Bro, what?
It's like, hey, that's a cool idea. I like building. Building's cool.
Dude, that is absolutely devastating.
So Ready Set Go says after your rival builds 4 foundations, you can build up to 2 from your hand.
Does the way the timing work, does he need to build the 5th to go into the second one? Or it can be respond on the 4th, do it, respawn window goes back to Bromley, comes back to you, you can do it again?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But if you could do it once, you could do it twice.
Yeah.
Shortcut it a little bit.
Yo, yeah.
Right,
I just want to know
100%.
if he needs to do it once more to be able to proc it again.
And it doesn't say 4th or greater, so it has to be you declare it on the 4th.
Yeah.
So
okay.
if you decide not to, for some crazy reason,
okay.
and then they play the 5th, you technically missed your window.
Done. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Insane to have had 2 of them.
This is so busted.
So yeah, we going into the turn, we just get to kind of see the power of this. I can say that like 9 times out of 10, whenever I play my Ready Set Goes, I just don't have. When I redraw that hand, it's just a bunch of attacks, and sometimes I'll build 2 pass. But like, if I got the foundations that I would normally play. The big thing is you just have more blocks in case your opponent.
You can
aggresses.
be more selective with your blocks,
right?
Like you're not forced to stick to like kind of good zones.
Right.
You can just kind of get rid of what you need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, super. I mean, hey, turn 1. Start the turn with end the turn with 7, pretty decent.
Seems all right. Obviously, there's no way that Bromley is going to aggress into that kind of play.
Absolutely not. But a phenomenal suite of defensive foundations here.
Right.
We've got release, we've got wall clings, we've got rescue completed. So just so many different options to make what Daniel's throwing here less impactful, or just completely make the defensive plays trivial.
Right. Yeah, so the big thing here is like ready, get, set, go. People are like, oh, this card's unfair when you're going second or whatever. It kind of all it does is really like bring the advantage a little closer to even, rather than making it player 2 is stronger, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's what we're seeing here. We've got literally 9 foundations to 7 foundations going into Dan Nelson's second turn, and so it almost like it takes back the initiative of going first.
Yeah, 100%. So we got the tongue whip here, clogging up Bromley's carpet a little bit. And then
wall cling being flipped, so that whenever we decide to partial this, it's not to damage. Give it the -2 speed. We gotta make this thing as slow as possible. So we're talking about Kamui Woods, right? And how good Kamui Woods is in how good Keenan's board as Kamui was in that next game. Can we talk about the foundations that we have on Bromley's board? Double race completed, commit for -2 speed. We've got double release, and we've got the most important one. We've got Momo herself of destroy a foundation, do a thing. We've got release on face, right? We have so much speed hate. We could tank a move by 2, 4, 6, 8. 10 speed if we wanted to. If we want one move not to hit us, it's not gonna touch us.
Any move. It's just like, no, not this one. But yeah, so responding to the initial whip with blocking with the face shield, so clogging up that card pool, forcing Daniel to play with some level of progressive difficulty.
Because we remove the face shield, we can ready up that amphibious, and we've got that 8 foundations back ready again. Question is, like, we've already flipped the one in the card pool. Do we have another face shield to flip this one? Or otherwise, we're probably just going to end up taking our 6 here.
I mean, Daniel's been able to draw a few cards additionally, so like he's been able to dig for gas. He's committing to his lines and getting that extra damage in.
Right.
So could be telegraphing here that he's just leaning on being aggressive, and Bromley's saying no, this isn't the one.
Probably goes 7 because of the floating around my babies.
Yeah. Hitting the frog kick on a 3 check, so gonna have to commit a significant part of his board here.
Yeah, committing quite a few. Sadly, those are, I think, all foundations that get to re-ready themselves.
In some way, shape, or form, yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention frog kick, whenever it leaves, we get to ready it as well. Ready another card, excuse me.
Right.
So for me, I think we have one card left in Bromley's hand. We're going to do our best to find some good blocks. I mean, at this point, we just don't block the kick, right? It's kind of just not a reason.
It is like the lowest impact thing you could block. The argument, and Bromley's only got one card in hand. Like, if you had a bit more, there'd be an argument to say that, like, you know, forcing that high life total means that, like, Daniel, yeah, okay, here we go. And it forces Daniel to be like, okay, well, now I actually need to prioritize.
Ooh.
That's hot.
Responding with the new training method to go pick up that. I believe I saw a high block.
Yeah.
Not going to help us with this, but we do have a face down committed foundation. We could just remove and go pick up a low, you know? So we got him in our discard pile.
But here, just, you know, the higher life total you stay at in general, just the more of a gap you present to Daniel, which means he kind of just needs the more loaded hand to be able to go in.
Right.
And maybe you can dissuade him to stop attacking. And then at that point, you might be able to find another turn to get a bit more reprieve.
Right. The fact that we didn't just use the preparing for battle means that we definitely have more gas in our hands in order to keep pressing.
All right. Going to get rid of our 3 once more.
One more time. Once more. This is what, 12 cards gone?
Yeah, some of that.
Yeah. I'd say it's nicer for cleanup, but it really isn't.
Yeah, it's really not.
Yeah, making more piles.
Hey, look. If you're into Daniel, you're deciding, you know what? If I cycle, it's been too late anyways. It took me too long.
Here's game 3.
So,
it's easy.
Who cares what's in my discard pile? And here's the pivotal card.
Lashing, continuing to check absolutely poorly. There's that, and surprise, surprise, getting rid of the floating.
Guess he's had enough of that. Valuing the draw.
Gets the +3 speed, but that is nothing. We've got new training partner. Not to mention whatever other cool tricks that Momo has on board. Even the +3 cards in the card pool don't necessarily matter at this point.
Yeah.
We would have to have another one, but at the same time, like, I mean, Asui's gonna, like, we did check that 3 on a 6, but we're gonna ready 2 face downs with frog lashing. We're gonna kick this frog kick, probably ready back up that floating around my babies, and then we're still off to the races.
Yeah,
and
still got a lot to work with. Effectively only having 2 progressive difficulty, so, you know, checking a couple of 5s, mitigating the 3s that he rolled earlier does allow for him to just keep on pushing.
So from here, I mean, we have to see. I mean, that card dealt the frog kick dealt damage, but there's no way that we're allowed to. There's no way we're allowed to not kick it, right? Like, we gotta. Oh, we're digging. Interesting. He says I want one more. Destroy for +2 to our check.
Maybe he smells it. Maybe he sees it.
Yeah, I think the reason we're keeping the new trading method is if there's a cannon coming, right?
Mm-hmm,
If
mm-hmm.
there's a cannon coming, it's way more important to put that back to where it was because that card just hits just as hard, right?
Yeah.
But even then, like, I know Asui's only at 20 life, but we've only got the 5 foundation. Remember when we had 9 foundation starting this turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like Momo's allowed to have this pressure to make these blocks happen, but
It it's one of those things where like the defensive options are fantastic, but it does leave Bromley with little to work with to kind of crack back. But you don't need much sometimes if depending on how Daniel's committing here and just checking absolutely atrociously here.
I mean that's the thing with the all gas no brakes deck, right? Is the entire thought, the entire process is I'm playing a bunch of attacks. Well, I mean the
Yeah.
double-edged sword of our game and the deck design is play a lot of attacks. You're
Yeah.
gonna check a lot of attacks.
Yeah, I mean, see orange, play orange, check orange, pay for orange. Like I
Right.
don't just the way that the game flows when you're committed that hard. I mean, we've these aggro decks over the season 2 format have leaned so incredibly thin on, respecting good checks that like these kind of things are bound to happen.
100%. 100%.
Um, Fragglashing has the benefit that, it gives you 2 back. But
Correct. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it's still only for what, 8 damage?
Yeah.
We'll go to 5. What kind of swing back can we have on our 5 foundations as Chris? And like we're getting to end with the 2 ready foundations. Not to mention, I think we have 1 card in hand, so 1 block. Being already a 3rd with the someone with style. Like there's some moves that Dan gets to do too. Problem is going into the tank here. Do I pick up? Do I try to block? I think the answer is we go and we pick up an
Yeah.
attack to guarantee that we have some sort of pushback, right? Like, let's go find us. I mean, this is a 4 damage move that helps us build out our turn. Like, I don't even think we necessarily have to block this card. It looks like we're opting to. He says that it's better to keep my vitality high rather than anything else.
Right.
Say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got to check a 5 here
Mm-hmm.
in order to make the block happen.
And we checked no.
The 3. Oh.
Oh.
I must have done some poor math. My apologies.
Yeah, it's all good.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We must have double released, question mark? I guess I must
That
have
would
missed
make
it.
Yeah, that would make sense. Down to 3 foundations though. And we're going for the cannon. We hit the 4.
I mean, this is not lethal, but this is certainly going to hurt. It's a 5 damage move. We'll go back down.
It is a cannonball.
But I mean, man, look at our stage. Where did it go? Even if we do take, I mean, we're gonna take the damage, go down to our 8.
Yeah.
But then
well, I mean,
what kind of pushback do we have?
Not that. Yeah, that's like, and that's why you're so incentivized as down to keep on pushing because while yes, Bromley's like defense options are absolutely phenomenal. They come with a real cost that they set back his ability to crack back, and
Right.
now it's just what do we do? Right? Because like Asui's gonna draw into a whole new 7. And for what it's worth, Daniel's checked an incredible amount of attacks, so there could just be very few left in his deck.
True.
But Bromley's just like, okay, so what? Do I just build out and like survive the turn I just survived again and not progress the game state?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's at. I think I mean, those are foundations, and I think the rest of it are attacks, including a cannon. So I think, I mean, if our check goes well, we have some moves to make some stuff happen with new training style and then building cards down. Same with like new
I'm not sure.
Rising Starlet. Like
with a couple of good checks, can we count to 20? It's very possible.
incredibly. I mean, cannon does that all by like half of it all by itself.
Yeah.
And Dan went to no cards in hand.
So it's effectively just, hey, Bromley, can you count to 20?
Can you show it to me?
Looks like we're going with Starlet.
And then create
Into the net.
Checks. There.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to build that down and gain 1 health. Back to 9. This is 4 damage, and we can get the cannon up to 11. So if we can just find 5 more damage, we can only get the cannon up to 11 if we can commit the foundations to do so. I think the play here is actually to play. It might be to play double home run comet, slam some momentum, give it powerful, and give it plus 12 damage. It's been a 4-5, and we just can't check a bunch of threes, right? Like this, I think if we've got double home run, which is what it looks like, I think that's game. Grab a momentum,
Yep.
and then sling it out. Because Homer Comment says, as long as you've got highs or charges in your pool, and luckily Create Caption Net is that.
Yeah. Thinking deep on the sequencing here, but this is his pivotal turn.
Yeah, I think if we give him another one, then it's over.
Yeah. Okay, so going into it. Checking, he's
Grab
checking.
another one,
he's doing it and
then
going.
There's 12.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
There it is.
So Bromley finding the line.
There it was.
And pushing in for that 20.
Yeah, so that last one was a 12 damage move because the move gets +1 to his powerful rating.
Yep.
For each card of the card pool, essentially. So we'll discard the 2 momentum, give it the +8.
Solid.
Good.
Very nice.
Good lines.
Yeah.
Indeed. Quite.
No, it's absolutely. Yeah, quite. But this is where the real challenge comes. Can you survive the frog going first?
Yeah, that is. I mean, if there's a character to do it, it's probably Momo, right?
Yep.
Momo Kirishima. That's the reason they're so popular, right? Is we've got the aggro monster of Asui swinging in, and we got to play these like defensive decks that are okay to try and swing back. I mean, obviously we saw Homer Comment. I mean, we did 20 on 3 attacks.
Yeah.
So like it's possible these decks can swing hard too, but their forte is playing solid defense. So, question for you: why do you think Dan lost that game? What made that happen?
He just kept pushing. I understand the benefit too, because the idea being that the more I push, the more Bromley's forced to keep on paying and losing resources that give an opportunity for a crackback. Which means if I can keep pushing that to the max, he may not have enough, and he almost didn't, right? Like he got a good string of checks after his first attack, allowed him to get there. But I do think that's very reliant on just saying that your opponent's deck is not going to give him the opportunity to do so. Whereas I think had he, pushed him to a point where he was going to get his advantage, get some damage in, and then laid back to then go at it again, with the mitigated resources that Bromley had available to him, I think he could have lived to potentially see another day.
I could agree with that. I could agree with that fully. And I think the reason that Chris won in that game is Dan just like checked poorly and didn't respect the offense.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, I think that's just like as simple as it gets. We had 4 foundations.
Yeah.
20, so. Literally keeping 1 card in hand for a partial block, and it didn't happen. So there's that. Get our mulligans out of the way, and we're gonna see how Dan takes us off.
Yep. I don't think you bring in all that much, because realistically here, Asui's just gonna keep doing what Asui does.
Right.
And Momo, most predominantly, I think most players have some form of main deck tech against Asui.
Right.
Just because she's like such a very real part of the meta at this point in time. So you might be able to find a couple of cards in your side deck to bring it in, but odds are you're probably well prepared for the matchup going into game 1. So I could see game 2 and 3 not being all that much different.
That's kind of where I'm at as well. A lot of safety 3s coming in, so we get to play a lot of power cards on this line, right? Excited for Blood, Passing the Torch, Amphibious. Possibly one of the 3 best cards in the deck, but checking a 3 to play our last one says that there's no way we're going in on turn 2. That's not Dan Nelson's thing. Even when he was playing Tokoyami, he was a build for 2 turns and then blow you out on 3 kind of player. So we get to see what kind of defense Chris gets, because he'll get this turn, and then he'll get next turn, and then we're off to the races.
So we got ourselves training partner, Walkling.
And then a Precious Lesson, which counts as like 2 extra foundations. That's like kind of our Amphibious, right?
Yeah.
Instead of once per turn, we have it once per game.
These are tanks. Got the quick rate in hand, so I'm probably not going to play it out here.
I think the question is do we think Asui's gonna poke or not? Right?
If it is, it's with like a card.
Ooh,
Hitting
check
the
the 4 on
four.
the 4.
Getting there. So again, wonderful suite of defensive cards.
Yeah.
Got the release, which can like single-handedly save your bacon. You got Wonkling if in case we're off zoned. Got the Amphib just to be able to get some realization of our foundations there. So good base to be able to be defensive here. And like you've stated before, looks like we will attempt to at least poke.
Yeah, I don't see this turn going much further than that, especially with like interesting committing the Excited for Blood. If we decide not to ready Asui and then commit it for the speed again, this is the world's biggest poke of all time. If we just like ready the passing, we just wanted to draw a bonus card.
Yeah,
maybe 2 off of Excited for Blood.
Yeah. Sounds like growing up with my brothers, where a poke was very much a closed-handed fist, coming in slightly faster than what I would typically expect of a poke.
Or we did both. We readied the Excited passing and then ready back up.
Why not?
Interesting.
So proceeding here, go with the block with the quick create.
The breaker one kind of puts a damper on things. I know they've got the 4 ready resources again, but the question is like if we check another 3, which is likely, right, because of how our deck is structured, it just might not happen. Checking in discard piles. What do you have options to go and pick up? Checks a 2 on the 4.
Sure.
That's how breaker works. Commit one more. Choosing it to be Excited for Blood. If he picks the Excited for Blood, this is the biggest tell of all time.
Oh yeah.
That we have the frog lashing.
Yeah. Okay.
There we
go. All right, there we go.
He says I'm down, man. He says I am here for it.
Yeah, this man turns his cards sideways.
Kick. Give it the 2 speed, and then we'll ready back up with Amphibious. It's interesting because like we're allowed to destroy a card in order to bring back down this quick create, which is another 2 health essentially because minus 2 damage.
And now we're at 18 all. What the follow up is presumably you start building somewhere around here. Yeah, okay. So passing the torch.
It's interesting. It might have been a thing of like I've already drawn off of this Excited for Blood. There's no way Brahma's gonna do 18 me with that when I've got my 5 foundations. Gaining the 3 health isn't worth it. I'm not gonna draw next turn. We'll just flip it and do the stuff, you know?
Right.
And Nelson giving a thumbs up because he was so nervous he was gonna die on turn 2 against Momo. He was ecstatic.
Sorry, I'm cool with this.
Oh man.
Rescue completed. Super solid.
From here, we've built 2. We're maybe gonna build 1 more.
See where the extension is. And we're in the tank.
I was to build the last one, which is a good high block. We built a high, a mid, and a low out of our hand. Kind of giving a bit of a zone shakeup. What could we have left? Not to mention what can we go and pick up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 current foundations. Not to mention everything that could happen with the precious lessons. Like we've got quite a few resources to protect ourselves. Genuinely, we've actually got more defense than we had in the game that we just had. I know there's a lot of minus stats on board, but not a lot of other relevant card text. This card, if this attack turn from Dan doesn't go well, we're gonna be, I think, left in a really good position to continue. And we're starting off, truthfully, not amazing.
Yeah, no, not great. Kind of repeating the story so far of game 2 here. Gonna have to pay for this tongue whip. In kind, making it so that Bromley also has to pay in the form of clogging his card pool, but it's just Asui be able to get the restand there. It's not terrible.
Man, all tied up 18-18. Not what you want to have as the 6-hand size character, but we are gonna go ahead and pop and build in the 2 ready foundations. So now look, I mean, this is the full force of our defense is now up. I destroyed 1 to build back my 2. I'm gonna have so much fuel to destroy and commit with this rescue completed release or Momo combination. It's gonna feel great. But if we block a little too early, then it's not going to quite get there. Unless, of course, it's a face shield. Yeah, I could put that there. We got to start having Dan commit bonus resources.
Yep, just forces us to play aggressive.
Builds another card into the card pool. Can I be negative for a second?
Yeah.
I hate card pool stuffing. It's like my least favorite mechanic in the entire game. Yeah. I think.
I mean,
go ahead.
It's rich that the card pool stuffing is coming from the deck that clears its card pool every attack. Also,
ain't it? Ain't it though? Like the idea of card pool stuffing is like really neat until you realize it's like +1 speed on everything. Every attack. Like if there was a character that said +1 speed on every attack, like it'd be good. It's just like, I mean, not to mention you've got +1 speed on every attack plus Asui given the 2 speed.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I mean, commit for +4 speed now on this move. Like that's so much. So much.
It's very good. It's a lot.
It's no wonder Momo's like making such a splash. So I didn't mean to, but I'm happy I said it.
There we go. But
So
yeah, 100%.
A lot of people use a tongue whip as the finisher, right? They've blocked a ton and got rid of these cards because how Momo likes to block and then clear her own card pool. A card's not very effective as the finisher, and so really intelligent for Dan to be using it as the opener to stuff those 2 cards.
Yep, absolutely.
You saying your foundations are all so cool and awesome. I'm glad they're all ready as you played your 3rd attack. That's sweet.
Yeah, cool. I really love how you paid 1 and it came back.
Right. So we now get to take and remove 6 cards from, or 6 or 3, just 3. Okay, I thought we had a second one. My apologies. 3 cards again. I mean, this normally Frog Smack is or Tongue Smack is for 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. We get to make it 8 now because of what's going on with the floating. That's threatening.
Very much so.
Right. One of my favorite parts about this card as Tongue Smack is one of Chris Bromley's least favorite cards.
Yeah.
Thinks that card's not very good.
So much so that he bans it from his own tournaments.
100%. We love the memers.
I don't know why. It seems fine.
It's fine. I think
it's fine.
Like a 4 mid or 4 high for 4 that draws a card or whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think it's good in the decks that it wants to be good in, right? Like it replaces itself. It does everything it wants to be.
Here's the breaker block.
Go down to 7 and then the breaker. And then the question is, we've got the big one to slam it down for 14, right? We've got 2 more cards in our card pool. If we play a 5 diff right now, at minimum we check a 3. We've got the face downs to pay for it, but that's our question.
It's a consideration here.
I think at this point we might have to cut our losses, which is a breath of air for Momo getting to have a 3rd turn of the game.
And I think that's what Daniel's trying to avoid at all costs, is just kind of giving Bromley another opportunity to kind of like mitigate and draw into everything he's going to need.
Counting their deck size. Interesting.
Why, Daniel?
think he's trying to just figure out what's the likelihood that I check an
a
attack
3.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we check a 3 and it turns into a 1, our turn's over. We did not progress our game state. Our board, although healthy, does not get to stay up and competitive with what Chris is doing. Right? Chris builds another 3-4 cards, and then it's over. And we certainly do.
Yep.
On a 4, 5, 6,
Yikes.
checking a 1, committing 5 resources. Can you imagine committing 5 resources for a tongue smack? Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
To draw 1 measly card. Ugh.
Yeah. What are you gonna double sugar rush here? You can't. You've been floating around with my babies too much. And not playing that simple.
Yeah.
This is a 4, 5, 6, 7 damage move. This is threatening lethal. But we've got so many resources available to us with resist, rescue completed, wall cling, like this. Unless we have nothing but low blocks in our hand and we're moving to go grab out high blocks, that might be the case.
Looks like it might be.
Yeah. This should be a fairly simple block here. Destroy for +2 to your check.
Oh, looks like we're gonna dump 3 again.
It certainly makes sense for us to go to the number, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are the chances of a lashing after this?
I
Five,
doubt. I mean, it is possible.
6, 7.
And if anyone I know is like got enough gusto to do it, it's our good boy Daniel. But nope, looks like he's going to stay away from the path here, and good because he wouldn't have hit it.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. It checks, and then on the 4, 6, 3, commit Asui for 4. All right, so we gotta build 4, including another floating around babies, another amphibious to replace the one we've already flipped.
Mm-hmm.
As we take and we look, man, there's a lot of orange on the top of that deck. But a little defeating because we have our second discard pile now with our remove from game pile. As Momo, what do we wish to do? Review this, I think, foundation. That's a very good block, or are we gonna try and push for the 18? And the answer is we push. Oh, it was a plus ultra block. Excuse me.
Well, he did it in game 1. Mind you, the matches situation were pretty different here. Daniel having the 2 blocks could be just enough that he needs to be able to push through. So,
yeah, same situation though. 4 foundations.
Yeah,
still gotta find almost all of Froppy's life. I guess that's not something we can do.
rescue completed kind of helps with the longevity.
Yeah, doing some looking here. I mean, we've got a passing in hand, but the question is do I need that mid block, right? Do I need these blocks? Do I need the partials in order to get there? I think the answer is you have to keep building. I think what we're trying to figure out now is do we play create capture net to build this thing down? What happens if I check a 3? If I check a 3, is the turnover? Is the game over?
Yeah,
if we could just play passing, cut our losses, as opposed to playing an attack and it, getting stopped, getting that bonus review.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's putting ourselves in a position where, yeah, I think it's just about waiting. 2 cards in hand. Daniel's got resources. I think the turn that Momo decides to go in, Bromley's just gonna have to go in. And it would open him up to losing from the crackback, but going for the win. So I think he's just got to be patient with it.
The other thing that we could be doing, I mean, we've got now double floating around by babies. So we've got even more removed from the game happening that we could be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I counted either 10 or 11 cards in the discard pile. So we get to actually, on 2 attacks, play that ability. If we went full send, we get to do it twice, which would put every move at lethal, right? But
True.
As soon as we cycle, it's over. There's not an option.
No, yeah, the deck's pretty much empty.
I think there's doing a lot of counting of attacks of like, all right, if I've already seen 14 of the 22 attacks that are probably being played, what's the likelihood of if it's draw 7 that we found the rest?
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, I mean, the onus is on Dan to win the game, right? It's Bromley can sit here and hang out. He's gone through maybe 20 cards total. And that's just in his discard pile. He's got 1 card removed. All right, we got a cannon.
Yeah, we do have a cannon,
which might be just being played to bait out some destruction to make Asui try to survive a little easier on with a little less foundations. But
yep, that's the tough part about being like in the single digits, is that now you're making plays that open yourself up to even more danger. But because everything is dangerous, everything is like close to lethal, you have to fully respect everything,
100%.
which like forces you to weigh down your options. So it no longer becomes a real question about like most of the time whether I do or do not defend. It's just what's the sequencing that will make the most sense.
Correct. Okay, so we've got cannon still checking well, and then into a tongue smack. It's gonna let us draw a card. It's gonna be presented for lethal as long as we remove the 3. There it is. So this is gonna go up to 5, and then from there we destroy for presumably +3 to the check. And I want to say that we still have another Faith Shield in hand, and it might be like we're waiting just a bit to play it to have some more of these face downs.
That'd be kind of hot.
I would be kind of hot.
Very patient, also.
Yeah. I think it might have been just because like the speed of the move was so fast that like plus Ultra was just like the safest move.
Right.
No reason to commit so many resources on the very first block. There it is.
There it is.
Checks a 5, and we get it out of there. We respond, we flip it.
And yeah,
card's gone.
There's the kick.
That card should be flipped, yeah. The smack.
Yeah. There we go.
Chris is nice. Like, hey man, I worked too damn hard for you not to do this.
It means something to me, man.
Hey, that's important to me. You need to flip that one over. Man, checking a 3. Do we commit out? I mean, there's only 5 damage. We would go to 2, but it means, I mean, if there's one more move, it's probably over.
New training method.
Oh, it passed?
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were waiting to see if it didn't.
All right. No, it got through. And here we go. Just build a pair and pass it down.
There it is.
So
probably use a release, and it just isn't using dice for me. Poor little old me to keep track.
Yep. Yeah, it's just so tough for Bromley to put himself in a commanding position when every turn he builds himself up to 8, 9, but like overall big picture when it comes back to his turn, he's up like 1.
That is the life of a Momo player, you know?
Well, I saw him got there with 4. Maybe there's a world in which he gets there with 5.
All right. So now we are officially counting. Hey, I gotta know exactly what you got inside your deck. What are the options? What are the choices? Man, there's so many attack cards in this deck, dude. I love it. He was coming to me before the tournament and being like, my goal is to just like not let people have fun. I just want to just run them over.
Yeah, Sounds on par.
That sounds on par for the experience, right? And if there's anything, the two unfun boys not letting each other have fun, of course.
Irony.
One of them, hey man, why did you let my tags hit? Hey man, why do you keep throwing attacks? So I'm pretty sure that Chris actually has 0 attack cards in hand, and that's what we're trying to figure out is what. Oh, I see we do actually have one. I'm so sorry. What options do we have when it comes to building? Because at this point, the most important number on that card is actually in the top right corner of the block zone.
Yeah.
If they're all out of tongue whips, then I don't need to hold low blocks until they cycle, and then they draw a bunch of cards.
And looks like we'll be pushing out the Wall Cling into Wall Cling.
Those are both Omni blocks. That turns everything into everything.
Yeah.
Once again, we're going back to a build 3 pass.
And we got into a cycle, so very significant here. This deck has way less attacks than it did going into the start of the game. And that's assuming he doesn't get rid of even more of them here. Just like that. Just like that.
There were 5 attacks gone. Half it was gone, and we have...
Bro, we have like 10 cards in deck.
Not even. Yeah. Which just means that like every card we play is important. And what a time to do this in game 3.
Yeah.
Every enhance is going to be incredibly crucial.
Yeah. Everything's pivotal. And you can't, and your opportunity to bait has dwindled significantly because you don't have the room to bait and still keep on pushing to max velocity.
And we said we're gonna.
we're just gonna.
I want them all gone.
Dude, the greed.
I put these cards in my deck. I want to play with all of them.
The greed.
Yeah.
You can only. It's not even just about drawing cards. It's just like you can only play so many once you're starting to run out of checks here. Like, all right, Crone Frog.
There is a way to slightly... Yeah, you definitely can't do that. There is a way for us to slightly get some cards to our discard pile. We have 2 Summoner Style to destroy 2 cards and ready to back up the Summoner Styles, right?
Sure.
So if we are forced to do a mulligan, we maybe 1 more attack. We mulligan. We've now got 12 cards in our deck.
Yeah.
We get rid of the 10.
We got like 2.
We got 2 left. I get to play 1 more, and that might be some sort of saving grace, but it really depends on like exactly how many cards are left in deck currently. We've got 3 cards in Bromley's hand. I think the only way that Bromley...
Okay.
Excuse me?
Okay. Down to 2.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, we got to see a Wall Cling come in, right?
Presumably.
That has to be the answer. Also remove to go and snag yourself a high block.
I wonder what the thought process is here.
Wall Cling it is. Dan's
to start.
Destroy that card and then ready it back up. Hey, you know what? We could just remove our 3 foundations now, right? Let's get rid of them. Who needs them?
Who needs them?
Oh, what a smart way. We put another card in our deck, right? By using Asui.
Nice.
Actually crazy that's like an interesting anti-mill strategy.
Yeah, like
kicking your own card pool.
Very interesting case here.
That's only relevant literally this turn. Like ever. That's weird. Interesting.
Hey, I mean, by all means, you need every card counts at this point.
All right, go for the breaker. Easy peasy. Now another frog kick. Did we hold a low block?
Check's fine.
Looks like the answer is no.
All right, judge asks questions.
Perfect. The judge didn't realize Crone Frog didn't count to progressive. Hey, appreciate the judge staff being attentive. Commit for the minus speed. Putting it back to base. Says 2 speed is fine. I can deal with that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got the plus from the other. Checks another 3. We were at 2. It doesn't necessarily matter what resources we have.
Yeah, it's not so much about us as it's about, Bromley.
Right.
We're just gonna keep checking things until like something pokes through.
Right.
And I don't think there's much necessarily that Daniel needs to do different for that to happen.
Agreed. I mean, we are putting more cards in our discard pile. I don't think it's enough to save us from the mill out if it does happen to happen. And Dan only has one more card to be played.
Is it the right one?
Who knows? We have a wall cling that has not been flipped until now. Sorry, no.
Now it's gone.
Getting too quick with it. Commit from another -2 speed, and then go to the block. So the 1-minute block, it's the attack, and it checks. And then from there,
follow up. Yeah, another one.
And he checks a 6 because he's a madman.
That's crazy.
Let's remove from the game and go find myself a high block, please. There is a Starlet. And we'll flip and re-ready. Commit for the minus stats. Go for our block. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Checks a 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you show me one more and the cycle? He's got the fist bump and it comes in. Congratulations to Chris Bromley for taking it down on all but a deck out.
No way.
There it is. There it is.
Actually decking out Daniel Nelson. Daniel showcasing how powerful the fact that he has, the strong utilization of pumping up that damage. But, the deck's fast and there's something to say about doubling down on that speed.
Right.
But to not really give yourself the opportunity to go to a game where, you're past your initial 60 cards is absolutely doubling down on that aggressive persona.
Kids, it'll do it to you.
Yeah.
If you play with babies too much, they just suck it the life of the deck right out of it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, fantastic job by Bromley, bring great defensive options onto the board.
Right.
Being very patient with their utilizations. Having a face shield and holding it out until way down the string, even to the next turn, where again is able to kind of put a pin, not completely stop, but put the speed bumps necessary for him to be able to see the end of Asui's turn.
100%. And like having the know-it-all of in game 2 of like seizing the opportunity. Oh, this is 20. I gotta play it, right? Like a lesser player might not have seen that line or build your 2, build your 3 pass, and then we're back in that same trouble again. So good job for him for capitalizing on it.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll give him the opportunity to be able to talk about it as we wrap up round 6 and go into our player interview.
What's up, everybody? We are back at it here with the winner of this round, Chris Bromley. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
You're very, very welcome.
I had a lot of fun blocking and then blocking some more.
Yeah.
And then after that, I blocked some more.
Right.
Yeah.
Build 3, pass. Go ahead. Swing. Oh, God. Build 3, pass. Swing.
I did get to kill him in that second game, which was nice.
Yeah.
He emptied his hand and he said, count to 20. And then I saw my hand. It was 2 cannon blasts, a home run comet, a capture net, and a foundation. And I was like, oh, you're dead, Dan.
Right.
And I looked at my board and I saw that I could not possibly fuel a single cannon blast.
4 big ones.
And then I played the foundation, checked the 3, played the capture net, checked a home run comment, and I went, not looking good. And then I realized, I checked home run comment. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
It was pretty funny. So I did get to kill him when I was talking to Dan before. He's one of my sponsored guys over at Unfun Stuff.
Big shout out.
Really incredible player. I finally got to play him in a tournament, and he's like, I don't like Asui, okay?
Right.
I've been very vocal about that.
Of course.
But and that's just a stylistic thing, whatever. But Dan is like, I also don't like it, but it's effective, and I like this style, right? This like lottery ticket run kind of thing. And I've played against the deck a lot, against some very, very talented players, and Dan was doing like all the right things, right? Dan was tapping his character when it was appropriate. He was counting cards to make sure you should draw at the right intervals and things like that. And like it was reassuring for me as the store owner, and also just like watching this new blood like be that cerebral with a deck that people are like memeing. Oh, it's
the railgun.
Yeah.
No breaks, Asui.
Yeah, but it's
he built for 2 turns against you and then tried to go off, right?
He knew what to do. He knew he did not have to go in every turn. I think that actually his mistake in the third game was that he attacked me 4 times on turn 2 or 3 times on turn 2 instead of just building out again. Right. It might have just been his hand, because that's part of the draw, right? But it was cool to play Dan. I don't enjoy that matchup. He was commenting about it. He was like, you were very serious.
You having fun yet?
And I was like, I'm sorry, man. I just don't like playing last week.
Read the shirt.
Read the shirt, yeah.
So I want to talk about the choices that you made coming into the tournament, right? Mm-hmm. You're opting to play Momo.
Yeah.
What was the thought process behind that, right? You've tried a ton of different live characters for these big events. You've tried Toga, Mai, now Momo. We're gonna get to Ochako and then Asui and then Asui too.
Yeah, I sided into Ochako a few times. Actually.
I love that.
I've sided into most every live character at this point. I played Aoyama, I played Ochako 1. I've tried out Asui. For me, it's been kind of like a journey because I love that symbol and it does all the things that I want to do in the game, which is it does a lot of these cantrip attacks, which a cantrip is a card that will replace itself.
Right. Yeah.
So here's Back Alley Haymaker. It draws a card or it builds a foundation, which is equivalent, right? Building a foundation is like playing or drawing a card, right? So that's what I really liked about Toga. I felt like I had all these options that I could play in my deck. I could play aggressive if I needed to because of the speed. I could play controlled if I needed to, but my experience because I love playing Toga. That's my favorite deck.
Yeah, okay.
I love playing that deck. It just feels very me, but I was having trouble with the Tokiyamis. If I played Tim Keefe, he was going to beat me 100% of the time. 10 times out of 10, he's going to beat me if I play Toga because he will know I will tap both of your releases and I will wait because you can't kill me.
Right.
And I'll kill you. And so that was my thing is that Momo literally has release on her face. I saw Kevin Rubber play at the Orlando Regional. He Swiss champ that event. And I love tutoring in games. Like I just want to grab a card from my discard pile when I need it.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to waiting around and like sculpting and stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to block my whole hand. I want to have the right things. And then when I'm ready, hey, I'll grab this. Right.
Right.
And hey, she does that.
She does that on her face, huh?
Yeah. And set 2 in the DLC gave her a few more tools, right, that let her be a little bit better because she still struggles to kill things.
Right.
I mean, you saw that in the match. It was hard for me to actually do meaningful damage without him emptying his hand. That's the only reason I killed him
100%.
in that turn. That was a 3 high for 12, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the most blockable thing in the world.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
It's you still struggle to kill things. I think more so than Toga does. But there is the benefit of just being able to defend against 8 attacks in a turn, right?
Absolutely.
The combination of rescue completed, of having releases available, of having your face, which is effectively another copy of release. I hope you guys actually saw in the game. Sometimes you just use release because it works with plus ultra, right?
Correct. Correct.
So it's just there's a plethora of defensive tools. Offensively, you get to do neat stuff, and it feels like home for me because of the tutoring, because of all the draw power, and because I get to play. I get to dictate the pace of the game after a certain point.
Yeah. But it doesn't feel like unfair because like we saw every time that you would survive this onslaught and block everything unfairly, you had 3 resources, right? You like looked at your
especially
hand
early,
and were like, I can't do anything with this. I guess I'll build 3 paths.
Unless you find the way to get your bonus, right? Precious Lesson is like the broken card, which is why it checks a 4 and has a bad block. But Momo in general is always trading resource for what she's doing.
Right.
You're always neutral unless you don't have a card in your card pool, in which the card, right, a weapon or an asset. You're always going to be net neutral, and so. And if you don't have that, then you're even negging, right? You're negative on it. And so I don't think she's unfair. I think that the tools that she has are way effective. Life as a symbol is insane
Yes.
defensively, and offensively you have some of the greatest attacks and foundations as well. You know, like I love the water symbol defensively, but it doesn't have the tools to deal with stun. It doesn't have the draw power outside of playing Frigid Heatwave, right? That the life symbol has, you know, and so that's why I'm playing life. I would prefer to play water because it has a little bit more of like responding to my opponent's stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Life is just blocking very well. Incredibly well. Okay, the best. The best. But water has a little bit more interaction defensively, which is what I want to do, you know. I want to have a game where I'm like grabbing your stuff and you're trying to like prevent me from doing that, and
play with them, not at them.
Yeah, exactly. And Momo can feel like that. That's the one thing, the one like complaint I hear sometimes is when, you know, you play into a life wall, is that like you're just slamming your head into a wall, right? Like they just blocked everything. Like and I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
Totally.
But
it's effective though.
Also screw them.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, once again, congratulations. Any shout outs you want to give before we send you on your way?
Everybody should check out Unfun Stuff. It's the best. It's the best local in the business. Okay, Unfun Fridays. Come check it out. 8:30 EST. We got a good time slot for all you people on the West Coast or all you people on the East Coast. Anybody. I've got people from New Zealand. Got a guy playing from Germany like this weekend.
Insane.
And check us out if you need your MHA product. We're opening a store very, very soon in Miami. We can maybe do a provisional sometime. Whoa. At the very least, we'll be having, you know, we will continue doing these wonderful online weeklies that I've been blessed to have a great showing every week. And
I love that.
Like this guy showing up. He's like my 3 in a row. You won. What a king. Yeah. What a king. Yeah. It's been great. And also to my wonderful players. I mean, this round, if I had sat at the table, I would have looked around at a bunch of pink shirts and black shirts that had said Unfun Stuff on it, and I've got such incredible players, such incredible fans, and guys like you and guys like Aspira, and last and especially not least, I wanted to shout out Miles from Legendary Wolf Games, Sean from Rochester, and my boy Jacob from Final Round Game Shop, because it's not about just this. Okay, yeah, I'm wearing the hat. I'm wearing the Final Round hat, baby. It's everybody, right? That like Tam always says, rising tides raise all ships. And this game is going to grow and it's going to get huge, and every one of us is going to be rising with that tide.
I could not agree more. Well, thank you guys for watching this round. We're going to head into the next one.